Most people think of cybercrime as distant, technical, abstract. A stolen credit card here, a hacked email there. But the truth is that when ransomware struck at full force, it didn't feel digital. It felt physical, violent, merciless. And the case that the FBI later named Operation Checkmate was not just a bust. It was a descent into something that blurred the line between human evil and technological possession. It began quietly. Hospitals reporting systems frozen during surgeries. Files encrypted in red and black, with a message flashing like a curse. We own you. Pay or they die. At first, officials thought it was coincidence, some sloppy hacker trick. But then it spread. A small police station in Ohio couldn't open its crime database. An airport tower froze mid-shift. A financial firm in New York lost access to billions in trades. The chaos felt random, but every strike left the same signature. A skull-shaped chess piece glowing on screen. And always beneath it, the same demand: Bitcoin within 72 hours. No exceptions. The group behind it called themselves the Gambit. No faces, no voices. Only messages, typed in jagged fonts, that seemed to mock every attempt to reason with them. They didn't just want money. They wanted submission. The ransom notes taunted their victims. You are pawns. We are the board. Move wrong, you are erased. Inside the FBI's cyber division, the tension was suffocating. Agent Ramirez described it later in sealed testimony. It didn't feel like we were tracking criminals. It felt like something was tracking us back. Every time we thought we had a lead, we found ourselves staring into a mirror made of code. Like they knew exactly where we were looking. The first breakthrough came not from a server trace, but from the screams of a victim. A hospital in Chicago reported that a child on life support had died during a system blackout caused by a ransomware lock. Doctors sobbed in the hallway, unable to access machines. The ransom had been refused. The child became a pawn sacrificed on the Gambit's board. That was the moment the case stopped being just cybercrime. It became murder. Operation Checkmate was born. A task force of digital hunters, forensic cryptographers, and undercover operatives assembled in a windowless room in Quantico. Their mission was simple on paper: infiltrate the Gambit, trace the servers, shut it down. But in practice, every login felt like walking into a trap. The Gambit's dark web forums were unlike anything the agents had ever seen. The interface shifted with every visit, as if alive. Black backgrounds pulsed faintly, like breathing walls. Red text scrolled across, mocking intruders. You should not be here. To gain access, the FBI built fake identities. They posed as desperate buyers, corrupt officials, even rival hackers. Slowly, they climbed the Gambit's twisted hierarchy. Each level required proof: buying stolen data, wiring real Bitcoin, passing loyalty tests that involved sabotaging innocent targets. The agents did what they had to do, their stomachs turning with each act. Behind every successful step, there was a voice in the chat, cold and sharp. Well played, pawn. One square forward. And then they entered the checkmate room. It wasn't just code. It wasn't just files. It was theater. A live stream, hidden in the deepest vault of the Gambit's network, where masked figures in dim rooms showed victims in real time. People strapped to chairs, monitors glowing with their encrypted files behind them. The masked figures whispered, "Pay," or "Watch them vanish." And as the chat filled with Bitcoin transactions, the agents realized the nightmare wasn't symbolic. The Gambit weren't just hackers. They were executioners. One feed showed a banker, gagged, his face covered in sweat, eyes darting at the screen as a countdown ticked down. His company had refused payment. When the timer hit 0, the feed went dark. Minutes later, encrypted files were wiped forever. The banker slumped in silence. Another feed showed a nurse, forced to sit in front of a frozen hospital terminal as a child coded behind her. The viewers in the chat laughed. They weren't just criminals. They were spectators, addicted to suffering. The FBI task force watched in silence. Some couldn't last more than a night. One analyst quit, muttering that she could hear the countdown ticking in her sleep. Another broke down screaming when she saw the chess skull symbol flicker across her own laptop, though she swore she hadn't logged in. The Gambit fought back in ways that didn't feel human. Task force computers froze without warning. Cameras switched on by themselves. Distorted voices whispering through speakers. Wrong move. Wrong move. It was as if the hunters had stepped onto the Gambit's board, and every move was already anticipated. Still, the agents pushed forward. They traced fragments of servers bouncing between Russia, Eastern Europe, and the US. A breakthrough came when one server glitched, exposing a location in an abandoned office building in Baltimore. The team prepared a raid, hearts pounding, weapons ready. At 2:47 a.m., tactical units stormed the building. The stench of mold and decay hit first. Inside, they found rows of computers humming, screens flickering with chess pieces sliding across black backgrounds. In the center of the room sat a chair bolted to the floor. Shackles dangled from the arms. On the wall, painted in dripping red, "The game never ends." The agents searched every corner, but the room was empty. No operators, no victims. Just the machines, pulsing with the Gambit's presence. Then one screen blinked, and the skull chess piece appeared. A distorted voice filled the room. "You captured a square. But the king is never here." And all the monitors went black at once. The psychological toll deepened. Agents reported nightmares of chessboards stretching into darkness, pawns made of screaming faces, kings that wore their own masks. One agent swore he saw the skull symbol carved into his bathroom mirror when he woke up one night. Another refused to use his phone, convinced it was listening. The line between digital threat and supernatural terror blurred. Months passed. Each move forward felt like walking deeper into a maze designed by something that enjoyed watching them lose. But finally, a crack appeared. A low-level Gambit member slipped up, using a Bitcoin wallet that wasn't fully anonymized. Tracing it led to a safe house in Romania. A coordinated strike was Plan D. Raids across 3 continents, all at once, to collapse the Gambit's network before they could scatter. The night of the operation was electric with fear. In a bunker in Virginia, agents watched live feeds of simultaneous raids. Doors kicked in, figures dragged screaming from glowing computer screens. Some resisted, their faces eerily calm, whispering, "The game continues." Others laughed hysterically, even as they were cuffed. But the most horrifying raid was in a warehouse outside Bucharest. Inside, agents found dozens of chairs bolted to the floor, chains still warm from use. Cameras pointed at every seat. On one wall, in fresh paint, "You took the pawns. The king is still free." The servers were seized, suspects arrested, the Gambit declared dismantled. The media hailed Operation Checkmate as a victory, a masterstroke against cybercrime. But inside the task force, the mood was grim. Because the day after the raids, agents began receiving emails from unknown addresses. Each email contained only one image, a skull-shaped chess piece glowing faintly with the words "check." Your move. Computers glitched. Phones rang at night, with no one on the other end. One agent swore she saw a figure in a mask standing across the street from her house, only to vanish when she blinked. Another dreamed of being strapped to the chair in the checkmate room, with his colleagues watching silently as the countdown ticked. In his final report, Agent Ramirez wrote words that chilled every reader. "We shut it down. We captured the pieces." But the board is bigger than we imagined. I don't know if the Gambit were men, or something else wearing the shape of men. All I know is that the skull still moves in the dark. And one day soon, we will all hear the words again, "Checkmate." The servers are in custody. The suspects rot in prisons. But in corners of the dark web, whispers still circulate. Whispers of a new room, a new countdown, a new game. Some doors, once opened, never close. And when you stare too long into the Gambit's board, it begins to stare back. And somewhere, in the infinite night of the internet, a chess piece waits to move.